They didn't invite me to that meeting.
Maybe because you didn't wear any shoes to the meeting.
Well, that's why I own my own shop.
Greg and I always brag to each other about the benefits of owning your own business. And you can do things like be shoeless all day in your own business. I am in the mecca of gaming PC parts and custom builds and virus removal, Greg?
Sure.
Sure? Anything? Anything that pays the bills and keeps the lights on?
That's right. My sign says that I remove spyware, and I had a lady come in and go, "Can you install some spyware?"
Why?
Oh, I want to spy on my children. What? No, I removed viruses, Trojans, spyware. Oh, I just thought you could put some spyware on my computer for me. I can't.
Buddy. But look at this. Just a quick. Those of you who are new to the channel and haven't seen a Greg video before from the Smart Computer Store in Bloomington, Minnesota, like I said, this is the mecca of
I
gaming
sell
PC
tools.
hardware.
I'll sell anything.
Tools?
Sure. Ryobi 18 1+ setup.
Oh, okay. The wall of PC cases is growing. He's got this badass D-frame with a nice system in it, and he's got the triple monitors going on. His own build. Yep, that's prototype. You can't look at that right now. Anyways, but that's not why we're here. What we're doing is we're looking at the new Deepcool Steam Castle case, and this is Deepcool's very first computer case. And you know what? Those of you out there, there's a little clue here to who makes it. And the clue is, maybe if you're case savvy enough, you can figure out.
Look at that.
Okay.
Prodigy. It's almost the same exact size and the same design structure.
It's just a little wider, so it has 4 PCI slots. It's your own personal Christmas today.
Wow. Okay. That didn't work out.
Yep, that's the bottom.
It is very hard to tell. It is a very unique case. Looks to be about the size of the new InWin that. Oh no, the new Fractal. What was the new Fractal?
Oh, the 804?
804.
Node 804.
It looks about that size.
Look at that front intake grill. It's just like Modder's mesh. Look at it.
Oh yeah, it is. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Could have done a little better on those.
Does it feel girthy? The retail on it's $119.99.
Feels like there's some, the plastic lid comes off, got a handle on the top, so I'm not gonna rip it apart yet, but you know, I have to say it's very Prodigy.
Prodigy?
Look at the back of it. Look at it, you know.
Oh, the layout.
Yeah, even the thumb screws are, you know, Bitfinex
Oh
style
yeah,
thumb screws.
true.
It's got the same rounded
Bitfinex
top
Prodigy
and bottom,
style.
you know.
Do you think possibly could it come out of the same factory? That is a Bitfinex.
Don't know.
And the front bezel does come off really easy. You just have to take the top cover off first.
Mm-mm.
No, not even front.
Front first.
Front first. There's no filtration.
And these side gills come off. You can, got little, 3 little things. So you could paint these whatever color you like.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not into
Those could be the
silver.
copper that you want for accents.
Sure. Brilliant.
Or brass color. So in the front, there's an option to have a 120, 140, or what's in there looks to be 200.
200 using the 180, 200 multi-mount.
Mm-hmm. It's quiet.
And then top comes off pretty much the same way. The front has to be off first because it has 2 pins that go into the top. But kind of a blowhole on the rear here, but
Mm-hmm.
you could put a 280 radiator in there if you put the fans in the top and
Right,
the radiator.
right,
in
because
that.
it's going to be wider than that frame will allow. Right,
Yeah.
sure, I get it. Mm-hmm. And these guys just screw in from the front, the optical drive cages.
About two screws on each side, and 1, 2, 3, 5.
Comes with a 120 millimeter fan. You can put a 140 in if you want.
If you wanted to put a power supply right side up or upside down, you could do that. I don't know where you'd want to when you have an intake down here with a filter, but if you had to, you could flip your power supply because it has both circles for both. It's got a big control unit. It's supplied its power by a single SATA power plug. There. Of course, if you have 3 fans that you're going to control, it's already got one in the back and one in the front.
Mm-hmm. So you can add one more to their fan controller. Controls of the 3 fans, and let's show them what the buttons on the side are. So you've got, this one's a built-in rheostat speed control for the 3 fans, and then you push the center to go through the LED light sequences that are on top.
The fan control will also adjust the brightness of your lights on the top if you're just not using the breathing or pulse lights. You have a reset button and a power button. Feels real good. Jack for headphone and microphone. Probably a power light and a activity light. USB 3.0 and USB 2.0. There's 4 screws to remove your SSD bay also.
And it's steel, which is nice.
Still one of the bad spots would be the length of the power supply. Anything in a decent power supply is going to be basically too tight to make the turns.
750 watt Corsair or OCZ.
Yeah, I mean, it would fit in, but then you couldn't make
Oh,
your
yeah.
cable turns. Especially being modular and all, and almost everything is going modular these days.
Yeah,
You know,
that wall is right there blocking.
Though without any hard drives in this bay, you could go right through these brackets. So at least you can run your cables through there if you needed to.
You know, in retrospect, they should have moved the cage to the other side.
So you missed the bay altogether.
Yeah, so there's that space for the power supply cables to go in.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be a little bit of a frustration depending what size power supply you get.
If you're using your standard power supply with cables attached to it and it were over here, yeah, it would just go right past the back of the bay. All the wiring wouldn't have any problem. So some of your high-end modulars are short enough, 6 1/4 inches. Corsair AX750.
Bit more room.
You
But still, to get your hand in there?
Yes, you'd have to remove it every time you wanted to unplug it.
Yeah, I don't like that.
You know, the only other option would have been to just riddle this thing with holes. Made some other type of bracket to hold your hard drives. You know, I guess if I were going, and I'd skip on the 3.5-inch hard drive altogether, just so
Yeah.
I could do my wiring. Because the power supply is almost more important. You can stick an SSD almost anywhere you want.
Well, you got two right back there, you know.
Sure, you probably could.
I haven't used a 3.5-inch hard drive in a build for. Oh man. I'll go out as far as saying 5 years.
Sure.
I mean, unless it was a drive I pulled from an old system that I still wanted to get archive stuff from, but.
And like the Mod Cube, you just Velcro it right on the top.
Yeah.
Just SSD can go anywhere.
Oh, yeah.
Side of the power supply, there would have been room. Even with a fairly large wattage power supply, you still have room to put an SSD right here. Because by the time you get it in position, look at that. You got plenty of room for an SSD.
Boy, yeah.
Up here. Up front somewhere. Depends on what you're doing. If they had moved the hard drive bay to the other side, like we said, or moved the power supply to the other side, like we said, either one would have given more room to the cables for your power supply, especially if you have modular ones that have the thickness of the plugs plugged in. I think that's my main dislike, is that you're going to have to find yourself a 6-inch long power supply instead of going with this, a high-end modular one.
We're trying to figure out how to take off this bottom piece. Okay, did you figure it out?
Yeah.
You did? It's held in with screws? How many?
Probably 2.
You're 20 seconds. Okay. Alright.
Better magnets. Better magnet.
How many screws hold it on? Greg! Come on.
I won't get it out.
I think you're at 12 seconds. Give or take. I'm watching the counter on the camera.
And you shouldn't have to remove rubber feet to get to it. That's a no-no.
Alright, so you gotta take these off and then they're not gonna be as sticky again. Uh-huh. You know who else did this? Is the Corsair on the 800D. They did the same thing. You had to take off the adhesive pads to get to the screws.
No, there's none under that. No. It's just one.
Oh, wow.
See, this side's good.
We're just gonna, when you do finally get it off, it's just gonna be a really underwhelming success. Kind of, oh, okay. That's what's under here.
I know, it's just this one screw's wedged in there. See, this side's done.
Uh-huh.
3 of the 4.
Okay. Man,
Why would you do
there
that?
could have been a better way.
Yes.
There you go.
So eight screws for a little tiny SSD bay.
Ooh, 8 screws.
And you have to remove your rubber feet, which will never stick on again.
They'll never be the same.
Every time you slide it across the desk, they'll peel up.
Yep. You'll have to super glue them back on.
Don't they know? Never, ever put them under the rubber feet.
Oh, I think they just, Greg, it's called maximizing your profit margin.
Because that's all it's really doing.
Oh, well.
Going like that and it's sliding.
I think maybe somebody, let me just guess here.
Pads.
Maybe it was designed on a Friday.
Wow. So it's a beer feature. They will never stick on again, right?
Yeah, that's the thing, is it won't be the same. I'm really disappointed in the fact that if somebody wants to remove that SSD cage, that they have to go through all that.
I'd be interested to see if the manual actually covers that. So
I didn't see it in there.
I didn't either.
I don't think they want you removing that stuff. Even though it's screwed in.
So no modding.
Well, no modding doesn't exist with us though.
A pre-semi.
We just find it even more challenging to. No, there's nothing pertaining to the bottom of the chassis coming off. So it's not recommended by Deep Cool.
I'm let down that the top comes off real easy, the front comes off real easy, and the bottom is just a chore.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they could have done the same technology for the bottom as the front. You know, could have just put the, whatever they call these, spread 'em things.
Spread 'em things.
Yeah. I don't know what you call them. Whatever. Go in there, they pop in, and they spread out, and they're
Right. Expandable or friction fit pegs.
sure spring-loaded friction fit
Spring action, plastic molded,
fasteners.
fastener, pop on
Yeah,
pegs.
I mean, they even put a handle so you can grab it and undo it.
Yeah.
You
Right.
know.
They knew people would be taking that off.
Oh,
Okay.
what's-
All right.
I'm gonna start doing all video reviews now.
Are you?
Lazy bastard. I
Me?
mean, what? We have to do testing and stuff
Testing
like that.
and all that
you
stuff.
just go, well, I like this, you like that. And
Well, I'm doing this review because I'm going to mod this case, and I wasn't obligated to do the review, but I thought it would be fun to take a look at it and share it with everybody because it is a unique looking case and it's conversational. It's subject to personal taste. It's different. I think it has a bit of a sci-fi vibe about it. The build quality is really good for the money at $119.99. It's on par with the Bitfinex Prodigy, as we said, which is a well-made case. I like the extension. I mean, you got a bit more room than the Prodigy. It's got some fun features on it, and my only disappointment is just how much Greg had to struggle with taking the bottom piece off. If you want to, for some reason, take out that rear SSD cage, you gotta struggle a bit. And valid point, Greg, about the adhesive feet on the bottom. Once you tear those off, it's not as strong when you try to put them back on. And especially if you're going to be sliding this around or bringing it around to LANs or your friends or whatever for gaming, they're probably going to come off. So I've had to do that before. What I've used is super glue when I go to put it back on. I mean, but I just think that could have been done differently. Overall, it's a nice case if you really like the design of it. Greg, I want to thank you for taking the time to check this out with me. Your opinion is always valued. You have a lot of experience of building PCs and custom rigs. So anybody that's ever in the Bloomington area of Minnesota, come by Greg's shop, Smart Computer Store. Check it out. He's always got cool stuff. Everything's for sale, right, Greg?
Yep.
Yep.
Everything.
Everything. So, yeah. And he's always looking to make more room too. So. Okay. All right, everybody. See you later.